please click the link pinned in the comments. Check out our tour dates. We start in LA this Saturday. We are fighting for our existence. Please come support City of Sound while we're on tour, and let us play amazing songs for you. The new band merch shop has just released. All the profits are going to go straight to our tour fund, and the channel merch store is also released, which is going to go towards fully monetizing the channel because I get copyright on every single video that I do, and it will help me keep the channel alive and help pay life as I'm trying to figure all of this out and balancing all this out and keeping everything bringing money in. I love you. Thank you for all the support. You're amazing. Yes, this is a little different for the channel, but to be honest, everything's getting copyrighted on the channel and I need to monetize something. So I kind of thought something I could also do on the channel is like reactions to things I have a lot of fun with, and even just funny videos where we can laugh together. But also, I'm a lover of horror and I love scary stories. So this is just a test. It's a test video to hang out with all of y'all. We're going to watch Scary Story together and I'm going to react to it and like have fun with it, but we can all just kind of laugh and have a good time with it and get creeped out together. This is a reaction to scary stories. I don't know if anybody's going to like this. This might be the dumbest thing ever, but I'm going to do it regardless and just make it fun and we get spooked. I'm going to be watching them from a channel called Llama Arts. Llama Arts, they do a lot of animations to scary stories. They're very well done. And we're going to watch some that I haven't seen because I've seen a few of them, but he has a lot. Here we go. We're going to watch like a couple and that will be the video. And I hope you have fun with it. So I love you. Let's get spooked together. Worst channel on YouTube, Righteous J. And look, like, I'm just gonna be completely genuine. I'm gonna have fun with it. I love getting spooked, and yeah, I get spooked. I know I'm a big tough guy. You know, nothing scares me. Also, everything scares me. This one is called A Close Call. Ooh.
I had just reluctantly returned home from an extended vacation trip to Japan. After experiencing delicious food beyond compare, a beautiful country, and spending time with amazing people.
True.
Needless to say, I was a bit depressed about coming home. On my first day back home, I went straight to my bedroom and passed out before doing anything else. Rather, I didn't have the energy to do anything else. It was probably for that reason that I failed to notice subtle hints that my home was not as lonely without me as I believed. Hours later, I awoke in the middle of the night to the sound of scuttling noises and the floorboards creaking. Understandably confused, I got out of bed and made my way into the hallway that was connected to both the living room and kitchen. Cautiously, I crept my way through the darkness, groping the wall next to me for balance in my tired state as I
Gee, yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even plan for that. You scared the shit out of me. Yeah, come over here real quick so they know I'm not making it up. Oh my gosh, I'm doing my first, oh my God. I'm doing my first, like, scary story reaction. You literally came and knocked on the door. Jeez, Nova. Oh my gosh. Don't ever do that again. Okay. Oh my gosh, could not even have planned that. It scared the shit out of me, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I like literally had the hairs on my, about made me go full country.
Next to me for balance in my tired state as I trudged forward. I, however, made the fatal mistake of stepping onto one of the loudest boards in the hallway, alerting whoever or whatever was lurking in the shadows of the next room.
You live there. You know what boards creak. Come on, y'all. Like, if you're as paranoid as I am when, like, you think something's in your house, you know all the boards that creak. That's your own fault. That's bad survival skills, bro. Read a survival book. Watch where you step.
Hallway, alerting whoever or whatever was lurking in the shadows of the next room. I paused, as did the entity in the next room, before a whoosh of air was heard as they retreated into whatever crevice they had come out of. Taking a nervous gulp of air, I walked into the living room and turned on the nearby lamp that dimly lit up the room.
Never, hey, for anybody out there, survival tip number 1, never turn on the lights. You know the roadmap of where you live. You know the roadmap. The other person, I mean, if they've been there for a while, they probably do a little bit, but you know the roadmap of where you live. Don't turn the lights on. It gives away your position. What are you doing, bro?
Looking around, I spotted not a soul, but rather some of my furniture was disturbed. What's more, a couple of my kitchen cabinets were slightly ajar.
Run. That's when you leave. That's when you leave. or you prepare to defend yourself?
Bewildered, but with my guard up, I went over and closed them all before readjusting my furniture.
Survival tip number 2. Don't make sounds when you think someone is in your place. You've given away your position. Sorry, I'm all worked up because Nova knocked on my door.
By which point I had relaxed. I chalked up the odd noises and movements to my jet-lagged brain and shrugged, deciding to just head back to bed. I wish the story ended there, but I was not so lucky. Before entering the hallway to my room, I saw that the large metal covering to the air vent above the couch was missing. Peering up at it, I mumbled, "What the?" before a crooked face filled with abject disdain for my existence popped into view. Startled, I fell to the ground and began crawling away as I heard the man begin screeching incoherently as he dropped down onto the couch. I watched in horror as his joints cracked beneath his raggedy hoodie and heavily stained jeans. He stared at me.
What are you doing just sitting there, bro? You let the guy come all the way down from a vent? Do something or run.
Silent now, before brandishing a knife out of his back pocket and pointed it towards me.
"My house now! Mine! Mine! You left it! It's mine!"
He shouted with a slurred voice as he charged towards me. I hurriedly crawled towards my room and slammed the door behind me and locked it as he started jabbing his blade into the door, yelling at me to die. Shakily, I called the police and sobbed as I told them what was happening. Thankfully, I was told a patrol car was nearby my neighborhood and they would be at my house in minutes.
Dude.
I stayed on the phone and picked up a baseball bat just in case that deranged cretin broke.
All right, at least you got a baseball bat. Like, I was just about to be like, survival tip number 3, grab a weapon, bro, something.
Down my door. A few horrendous minutes later, the police arrived, and after a quick but violent struggle, they managed to subdue the intruder.
Oof.
After locking him in the back seat of the patrol car, the cops investigated my house and found that the man apparently had been living there while I was gone. But not just that. Apparently, he'd been staying at my house without me noticing for a few months. According to the police, they found paper stuffed under the couch that was filled with nothing but incoherent ramblings about how he planned to kill me one day when the time was right. With the dates next to each entry predating my trip to Japan by an uncomfortable amount of time.
Dude, can you imagine finding that out? Like, can't you feel like that moment of reading the letter and then you take in the dates and realize that the person's been there while you were there before you left? Bro, that's horrible.
Frankly, I'm happy to be alive and relieved that the situation was resolved so quickly. But still, I make sure to triple check the locks in my home after that little incident.
Okay, good start. Also, by the way, if there are scary videos you would want me to watch for fun, comment them below. I love you. Okay, this next one is called The Playhouse. Scare me, Llama Arts. Okay, here we go. Oh, I love these.
We live on several acres in rural Indiana, USA. Our neighbors aren't too far.
Why does it always have to be Indiana? Indiana's not some like horror spot, man. Whenever I tell people I'm from Indiana, they always think that it's some like backwoods, redneck, dirt track racing, hillbilly shit. It's not just scary stuff, man. Indiana's awesome. Damn it. This is a terrible start.
Far apart, but we all live on a lot of property. On our properties, we have a lot of trees, and our neighbor doesn't maintain their property well, so a lot of it's overgrown.
That was the most Indiana statement ever. We live on a lot of acres, there's a lot of trees. Our neighbor does not maintain his property. All right, maybe he is a little bit of redneck.
Doesn't maintain their property well, so a lot of it's overgrown. You know, a couple of fallen trees and a lot of downed branches. We knew the state of their property was probably because it was an older couple that owned the house and the property was vast. We have a creek separating our homes as well, but a small strip of their property is accessible from our backyard. Due to the overgrowth in trees, we weren't able to see much of their property when we first moved in the summer. And of course, we didn't go onto their land because we didn't want to trespass. One night, my daughter and her friend were...
And because if you trespass in Indiana, you're probably going to get shot. True story.
One night, my daughter and her friend were camping in the backyard and ran inside, swearing that they heard a kid laughing or crying in our backyard.
Nope.
I figured it was their imagination from too many scary stories while in the tent, but went out to investigate briefly just in case. I heard a faint noise coming from just beyond our...
Hey, that's a brave country girl right there. That's a brave country girl right there. That's some Indiana-made woman right there. I would not be going out there by myself checking in the woods. Hell no.
Briefly, just in case. I heard a faint noise coming from just beyond our property line. I moved the flashlight into the general direction and called out to whoever may be in the trees. The sound stopped.
Oh.
I decided it was probably just a couple of stray cats, but just in case, I had the girls set up the tent in the living room.
Okay.
The next day...
For anyone who doesn't know, so like out on the family farm, so my extended family, there's a farm like I grew up going to all the time. There is nothing scarier than the Midwest woods and like cornfields in the middle of the night. It's the scariest place to be. It is so terrifying. And like this is one of the scariest things because the woods are so dense, like in Indiana. And it's so scary when you think someone's out there or you hear something. Oh my goodness. It's genuinely like so creepy.
The next day after taking my daughter's friend home, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to investigate the area by our property line. As I neared the line of trees, I saw a small path I had never noticed before. Since I knew my neighbors were too far and the trees were too thick, they couldn't see me on their property, so I stepped onto the small path. I walked slowly, looking down, watching for poison ivy and fallen branches. I wasn't too far in when I saw a dirty, broken kid's toy on the ground, wrapped in overgrown weeds.
Nope.
I looked up, and in the distance I saw a small, white shed-like structure. As I got closer, there were more and more toys scattered on the ground, some partially buried, all broken and dirty. Then there was barbed wire, and I could see the front of the shed and realized it was a large playhouse with a wooden alphabet decorating the outside. I was starting to feel uneasy. This playhouse was at least half a mile or more from the only house on the property. I stopped in my tracks, letting my imagination go a little, when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I must have jumped a foot off the ground, only to turn around and see that my daughter had followed me. Once my heart slowed down, I decided to get a closer look. There was more broken barbed wire fencing on the ground the closer we got. The window on the side was broken, and there was a hole in the roof. There was a broken train set, one a kid would be able to ride on. The front door had a white piece of wood set to lock someone in, not keep people out. At this point, my daughter was in full panic mode and begging for us to walk back to our house. But I had to at least look through the window, or my mind would wander with all the possibilities of what could be in there. As I was stepping to the side of the shed, my daughter was following close behind. In her fear, she was paying more attention to me than where she was stepping, and she cut her leg pretty deep on some barbed wire that was hidden in overgrowth. I quickly glanced inside the window, only to see a partially dirt floor and broken wood, and a large wooden bench with a dark stain on top. I picked up my daughter, who was determined her leg was going to fall off. We left the neighbor's property, and I took her to the doctor to get a tetanus shot and get her cleaned up. That night after dinner, I let the dog out, but couldn't get her to come back in. I let her stay outside for a while and
always trust the dogs. Always trust the dogs.
Checked again a little later. Our dog still wouldn't come in, and I noticed she was standing by the path we took earlier. I grabbed a flashlight and her leash and headed out to her. She was pacing, whining, and sniffing around everywhere. I figured it was from the blood earlier, but she never ventured onto the path. Then, I heard the giggling of a little girl. I called out to the child, but there was no answer in return, just some rustling in the leaves. I ran inside with the dog to check on my daughter to make sure that she was still in the house. She was laying in bed, fast asleep. The next morning, I went straight to the playhouse, but as I was approaching, something was wrong. The broken toys seemed to be in different places, and when I got to the playhouse, My heart felt like it was a ton of bricks. All over the side of the playhouse were children's drawings in my daughter's blood.
What? Wait, what did that just end with? Because these are supposed to be true stories. What did that just end with?
Heart felt like it was a ton of bricks. All over the side of the playhouse were children's drawings in my daughter's blood.
Maybe this was a bad idea. I'm scared. 1, do you believe in ghosts or cryptids or demons? I want to make this fun. If you do, comment below. Also, post any videos that you would want me to watch. I'll get better at these. You know, this is my first one, so I'll have to watch it back and see what doesn't work and what does work. But I hope you have fun watching some spooky stories of me. I'm a little scared right now. Hate that happened in Indiana. I love you all. Stay spooky, madness. That's not a scary face. That's not a scary face. I don't think I could make a scary face.